Well, for me, it was let me throw all the spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks, which to some degree, I still recommend people do in the beginning because when we first think about we're going to start a business, we'll try so many different things that won't work. And we don't want to look at them as failures. We want to look at them as tests.
Hello, welcome to Monetizing Mompreneurs podcast, where I take you behind the scenes with industry leaders, entrepreneurs, moms, working professionals, and amazing people pursuing their passions and going for their dreams. And I'm your host, Linda Mendable.
Hi, Alli. Welcome to the show.
Hello. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, can you tell us a little bit about you and your story, how you have become a business coach?
Yeah. I started out my professional life by not having a professional life. I was a stay-home mom to 5 little boys. And in 2007, I was pregnant with my 5th son. My husband lost his job. And as what happened to so many people, and he hadn't found a new job, we had a house we couldn't sell. And by the middle of 2008, I had had my son. We had lost our home to foreclosure. And we were literally homeless. We had spent all of our money in savings. And we took all of our belongings and put them into 2 storage units and lived with my grandfather while my husband applied for new jobs. And I started using my computer going, how do I build a business online? Because even when he gets another job, I want to be able to help the family. And I fell in love with the power of the internet, how women could learn whatever we wanted to learn. We didn't have to ask permission. We could just go for it. No one had to tell us that we were good enough to try. No one could tell us that we couldn't try. And I think for the first time in history, women had this opportunity. It didn't matter who you were and where you came from and all those other factors. You could just go for it. And I started an online magazine and a conference and worked with a lot of big companies and consulting through the years. But my love of entrepreneurship and helping women thrive has settled in through the years on spending the vast majority of my time coaching entrepreneurs, female business owners, women in corporate America. I still have other companies that I co-own that I help run, but my heart is always with helping other women and their businesses succeed.
Amen. Wow, that's incredible. I don't even understand. Did you have peace when you had the foreclosure? Like, how did you go through that season of hardship? Like, because sometimes we all go through those seasons of hardships. Like, what would you say were kind of like those mindset shifts that you had to take in order to go ahead and thrive in your business? Because I can only imagine how you can feel hopeless in that situation, right? Oh, we're starting all over, 5 kids, loss of job, right?
Oh, yeah, it was legitimately terrible. I think being a mother made all the difference because, as you know, when you're a mom, you just can't fall apart. You get up every day and you do what you have to do to take care of your family. And you put a smile on your face and you put on your big girl pants and you get it done. I mean, I think of my grandmother. She was still working as in a restaurant and working outdoor and at an amusement park into her 70s because that's who was hiring. And that's just, she got it done. So I think that's what got me through, that I needed to wake up every day and still be a great mom and still be someone who could help, partner with my husband and lead us into the future. I never had the opportunity to say, oh, let me just take some time off. It's not the right time. I'm not going to try to build this. I'm not going to try to go for it. I don't feel up to it. I had all those feelings. But when you got to think about, we have to make money so we can get back into a place to live. And even then you got to pay the mortgage. You just don't have the luxury to get down on yourself and to go, well, I just don't feel like the right time or I don't feel confident. You just got to pull up your big girl pants and get it done.
Yeah, I mean, we do have a tough job, right, as being
Yeah.
moms. And okay, so what were your first steps into kind of like seeing traction? Because you had to get up quickly, right? So
Yeah.
what was your mindset leading up to getting things up started quickly?
Well, for me, it was let me throw all the spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks, which To some degree, I still recommend people do in the beginning because when we first think about we're going to start a business, we'll try so many different things that won't work. And we don't want to look at them as failures. We want to look at them as tests because we don't know in the beginning what we will actually be good at one day. We don't know what we need to learn. We don't know what people are going to be excited to pay us for as a service or a product. So I started an online magazine, which I sold a few years later, and then started a conference for women who were also building businesses online and using social media. And blogging was the big thing at the time in 2008. And just the first conference was literally held in a hotel close to the airport in Nashville, and everybody came free. And it was super low key because I didn't have any money. I didn't know if it would work. But this is the thing when we're trying to figure out what will work, when we're trying to figure out how to build, it's important to do lots of little tests. Like I said, a lot of it won't work. Where we have momentum, where there's some heat, where there's some light coming in through the door crack, that's where we need to bust in through the door and go, okay, there's something here. Let me give this a shot. So that's what I did, and that's what I recommend. Try a bunch of different things. See what feels right. See what you're naturally good at. That's always surprising to go, oh, I didn't know that this was in my skill set, but it is. And give some time just to test and to play and not kind of hang our hat on one specific way that we're going to be able to make money or build a business. Because to some degree, it takes a little bit just to figure out where the momentum is.
And how did you find that light, that crack? How did you know what was yours?
For me, it was the conference when I could get a lot of people to come for free. And I saw that that was successful. I knew that the next time I held the conference, I could charge for tickets and I could bring in sponsors who would want to meet with these women and work with these women. Because this is really social media. We only had Twitter back then. So they wanted to work with them for reviews on blogs and mentions on blogs and blog advertising. So through that, I realized that there was something there that could be a financial benefit. And then through building that conference and working with lots of companies, that's how consulting jobs came with different companies and just helping women, thousands of women through the years. We had the conference in the United States and Canada, helping them grow or start businesses. That was my sweet spot.
Wow. And if you were to start all over again, what would you do different, or what would you focus on?
Oh, 100% I would have started an email list from day one. Oh goodness, I was years and years and years in business before I ever really started thinking about an email list. I was probably 6 years into my business before I focused on email building because everything else, building anything, anywhere else is rented land, social media, Substack, Medium, all these different places that pop up all the time. They're fine and they're good, but they're not a home base that we own. The only thing that we own is our website and our email list. Everything else could disappear tomorrow. And I would rather have one email subscriber rather than 1,000 social media followers. So I would have gone very purposefully into email from day one, as opposed to when social media really took off, focusing on social.
Yeah, I have noticed that email is where you make the sales. Even if you have a landing page, people receive an email and that's where the sales happen. So
That's right.
I definitely agree with that. And it took me a while too to start getting into like growing my email list. And then people started asking to get on my email list. And that's when I began growing it. I would like to talk about kind of like where you're currently at. What do you think is like the key factor that makes you successful in your current business? Do you think it's because of the momentum you build up throughout the years, or is it like sustainable consistency that are tried and true methods? What would you say?
It is such a boring question that I think if I was in the beginning of starting my business, I'd roll my eyes and go, oh, I don't want to hear that. But it is just showing up day after day and doing the boring work, answering the email, showing up on social media, sending my own email, spending time thinking about, what do I want the strategy to be this semester? It's having a business coach, someone to brainstorm with me, someone to push me. But it's also having done that day after day, year after year, now for 16 years. So I'm glad that when I started, Instagram and TikTok weren't around, because right now, beginning entrepreneurial women see messages like earn 7 figures in 7 days. And I launched this over here and now I'm having a 6-figure month. And it plants this seed that it's easy and it's fast. But the truth is, it's never easy and it's never fast, but it is worth it. The truth is, it can take a year for people to start earning money, and it takes investment of time and money and energy. But because it's easy to get clicks and it's easy to catch people's attention and it's easy to kind of sucker people in, essentially, we have a lot of really charismatic people online on social media with the promise of get rich quick schemes. So even if people don't completely fall for it, it plants the seed of doubt in female entrepreneurs' minds of, well, it's working for everyone else. Why isn't it working for me? Which leads to women going, oh, maybe this isn't for me after all. Oh, I thought this was my path, but I'm not cut out for it because everyone else is doing so well, but I'm not even getting any traction yet. When the behind the scenes story is nobody's really making that kind of money. People who are saying they're making that money want to sell you something. So I'm glad that wasn't around when I first started, because it would have slowed me down mentally. It would have hurt my mindset, because the truth is, you get up every day and you don't say, oh, I don't feel like working today. You put your butt in the chair and you get to work. And that's the secret of success. It's the boring work. Like I mentioned before, it's the boring work that makes people be successful. It's not playing on social media all day. It's not doing 30 stories a day. It's actually doing the work that gets you paid. So that's why I'm successful, because I just have kept my hand to the plow for 16 years.
Amen. Amen. And you're absolutely right. I remember reading this thread in Threads, and one person goes, I feel like giving up because it's been 3 months and I haven't made anything.
That's cute.
I laugh.
That's
I know.
cute.
I laugh, but I also felt really bad because there is this underlying message that, oh, it's fast, it's easy, and you can get started in a month, right?
Yeah.
And you can make 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures in a month. And
Because if it was fast and easy, who would have a job?
ooh, yeah, that hurts,
Right?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think entrepreneurship is for everyone. You really have to have a certain type of grit and mentality. And, I mean, shoot, even within my business, as how I've been going, I have days that are pretty tough on myself and, oh, it's not where I want it to be. But then you got to look back onto like where you start. Like for me, I look back onto like where I started and where I'm now. I am a lot further than where I started.
Amen.
Right.
Yeah.
Amen. So, okay, my next question is going to be, because we all think it's fast, we all think it's easy. So, and now we're getting that reality hit that it's not fast and it's not easy, but it's worth it. So let's take, for instance, someone that has a product, right? Whether a membership or a course, right? Let's go with the digital, because I really believe in digital products. How about you?
Yeah, I have a whole course called Create a Course to help women make courses, because I think that's the best passive income there is in the world.
Absolutely. I completely agree too. And so what I would ask is, let's say they have developed a digital product, whether it's a membership or a course, and it's not exactly where they want it to be, but they have members and they don't know whether they should throw in the towel or keep at it or keep going. What do you say to that person?
Well, I think it's really important to talk to the people who are giving you money right now. So maybe that there's people in your membership, maybe it's people who've bought your program or your course in the past 6 months. Ask to literally get on phone calls with people. People find this idea mind-blowing, like to talk to people. Don't send emails and ask for feedback. Get on the phone with people and just say, hey, I'd love to talk to you for 15 minutes about this. And find out why they stay in the membership. What do they love about it? What's working best? Why did they join? or for your course. Why did they buy? What did they get out of it? What did they love most? And then double down on the things that make people spend money with you now. Don't send an email. Everybody's busy. Everybody's overwhelmed. Nobody's going to go, let me just sit and thoughtfully think about this and type out an answer. No, you want to get them on the phone. Double down on what's working for you and then do less of what's not working for you. Give it at least 3 to 6 months of doubling down on what is working and then measure results. What we do is we get so married to the idea of what a membership should look like, or a course should look like, or a product should look like. And then when we're not getting the results we want, we think, well, I'm just not cut out for this. This wasn't a good idea. But smart business women measure results, see what's working, do more of what's working, less of what's not working, make a little pivot, and then say, okay, for X amount of time, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to measure the results and reevaluate at the end of 3 or 6 months, depending on what it is. That is how things get more successful, whether it's a lead magnet, a course, a membership, a book, whatever it is, whatever we're putting out there, we need to think about that this is an introduction of this to my audience. Could it go bananas at first and everybody buys it and everyone loves it and it's perfect? Yes. 99.999% of the time, that is not what's going to happen. You put it out there, you measure results, you make changes, you put it out there again, measure results, make changes, put it out there again, until through the years refining it, you perfect it. That's what I've done with the Coach School. It's another online program that I have where I'm training coaches how to actually get clients, because there's all these women out there who've been trained as coaches or know they would be a good coach, but they don't know the business of it. They didn't know the how to get clients part of it. So I built the Coach School. And with the Coach School, it's been out since, I think, 2021. Every time we open it twice a year. I fix it and I make it better and I make it more exciting for people. And I'm always changing the marketing a little bit. And it's not that you create it once and it's perfect with whatever it is. You create it once, and then every few months or so, you make it 10% better or 25% better until one day it is going like bananas and it's making tons of money. But when we put something out there and we're not getting the exact results we want, closing it down means we're definitely not going to be successful.
Thank you so much. I really like that perspective because it's so true. One of the things that I would say in the beginning of when I first started was bosses do what others won't. Because
Yes.
sometimes we don't want to do those hard things. We don't want to sit down and call people. We don't want to sit down and do market research. We don't want to sit down and actually show up. We want to have a business, but we don't want to do the things to make the business work, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So, and I love this perspective because people think, oh, sure, it's easy for Alli because XYZ. Sure, it's easy for this person because of XYZ, but they don't, I feel like nobody really understands that everyone has a starting point, right?
Oh, yeah. My starting point was living at my grandfather's house who didn't have Wi-Fi, driving to the McDonald's playland with my husband. The kids would play in the playland. He would apply for new jobs on their Wi-Fi. I had an old computer with missing keys, so I had to press certain keys really hard to get them to go down. And I had $42 of startup money. So it is one of those things. It's important for us to share our stories, how we got started, because how you get started isn't how you finish. We don't have to have a ton of money to get started with businesses online. We just need to buckle down and do the work and cut out all of the scammy messaging that messes with our minds.
Yes. My last question is, what do you believe God is saying to you in this season, or what are you learning in this season that God is teaching you?
Oh, this is big. I haven't talked about this publicly. I'm not going to say much, but I'll say the important stuff. God is making me in my business build something that I felt and still feel really nervous and scared and incapable and unprepared to do. So he told me last spring that he wanted me to build something. It involves technology. And I was like, okay, that's nice. You'll show me how to do that later if you want me to do it. And it's so rare. It's only happened maybe 3 times in my work life that God has told me something specifically about work, that to do something. He's told me often to stop doing stuff. And then a few months later, I was praying and asking if there was anything I had disobeyed about. And he said in my spirit, clear as day, I told you to build it. So God will often, and I mean, if you look in the Bible, it's all throughout the Bible, he'll often call us to do things that we don't feel prepared or resourced to do or ready to do, and sometimes even want to do. But he knows the future that he's calling us to, and he knows the impact that our work will have on other people. So I'm in a season with God of going, okay, I'm going to build this thing, this technology that you've asked me to build, but I have no idea what I'm doing. So please send people around me and help me, give me revelation, help me know what I'm doing. And after 16 years, I can say on this new project, I feel just as unsure and just as unsteady and ill-equipped as I did on day one, trying to figure out what business to build first. And it's wonderful and awful and terrifying and exciting. And there's nothing else I'd like to do with my life than this.
Alli, where can people find you?
They can go to alliworthington.com, and my podcast is The Alli Worthington Show. And I'm Alli Worthington pretty much everywhere all over the internet.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have a chance, stop by the website at lindamendable.com and join us over at Monetizing Mompreneurs Facebook group. I just want to say again, thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening.